A very good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining in for this weekly media briefing. Let me begin with an announcement regarding the Foreign Secretary's visit to the United Kingdom that starts tomorrow. Foreign Secretary Shri Harshvardhan Shringla will visit the United Kingdom on 23rd and 24th of July. It may be recalled that the recently held India-UK Virtual Summit in May 2021, both countries adopted an ambitious roadmap 2030 to elevate bilateral ties to a comprehensive strategic partnership and guide cooperation over the next decade in key areas of trade and economy, defense and security, climate, health, and people-to-people relations. During his visit, Foreign Secretary will meet with his counterparts and conduct a detailed review of bilateral relations with particular focus on the implementation of the 2030 roadmap. He will also discuss regional and global issues of mutual interest. Naturally, we will continue to provide you updates of the visit throughout the visit and when he is back. With this announcement, let me now turn to the questions that we have received. Yatin, the floor is yours.
So the first set of questions is on Afghanistan. Brajesh from Daily Guardian has asked, there are reports that India may help Afghanistan government military in its fight against Taliban. Is there such a plan to help Afghanistan in terms of military cooperation? Madhurendra from News Nation is asking, तालिबान के बढ़ते प्रभाव के चलते भारत को अफगानिस्तान की ज़मीन पर किस तरह की मुश्किलों का सामना करना पड़ रहा है? भारत अपने प्रोजेक्ट्स की हिफाजत के लिए क्या कर रहा है? क्या तालिबान के खिलाफ भारत अफगानिस्तान को सैन्य मदद देगा? उमाशंकर फ्रॉम एनडीटीवी इज आस्किंग, अफगानिस्तान के सेना प्रमुख भारत दौरे पर आ रहे हैं। भारत में अफगानिस्तान के राजदूत ने इंटरव्यू में कहा है कि हालत बहुत ही ख़राब हुए तो अफगानिस्तान भारत से सैन्य मदद भी मांग सकता है। क्या भारत किसी भी सूरत में ऐसे अनुरोध पर विचार कर सकता है? वी हैव सिमिलर क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम संजय राय फ्रॉम आज न्यूज़, प्रवीण गौतम फ्रॉम न्यूज़ पॉइंट एंड प्रणय फ्रॉम एबीपी न्यूज़।
Thanks, Yatin. Look, India-Afghanistan bilateral relations are guided by the Strategic Partnership Agreement, which was signed in October 2011. As a contiguous neighbor, India supports the government and the people of Afghanistan in realizing their aspirations for a peaceful, democratic, and prosperous future, where the interests of all sections of Afghanistan or Afghan society, include women and minorities, are protected. At the Afghanistan Conference 2020 held in Geneva, to reaffirm the commitment of the international community towards Afghanistan, EM emphasized India's long-term commitment to the development of Afghanistan. I think for the moment that would address the queries that you have raised.
Nilova Roy Chaudhary has asked, has India been invited for a meeting of Russia, China, USA trilateral on Afghanistan? If yes, when is the meeting? How is it different from the myriad other regional meetings on Afghanistan? I have a similar question from Daria from Sputnik.
Look, we have only seen media reports on this. I'm not aware of any such proposal having been made.
Shrinjoy from Times Now has asked, Pakistan has accused India of misleading the world on the abduction of an Afghan diplomat's daughter in Pakistan. Your comments please. उमाशंकर from NDTV is asking, पिछले दिनों खबर आई कि इस्लामाबाद में अफगानिस्तान के राजदूत की बेटी को अगवा कर टॉर्चर किया गया। हालांकि भारतीय राजनयिक और कर्मचारी पहले से ही सुरक्षा एहतियात बरतते रहे हैं, लेकिन क्या इस घटना के बाद उनकी सुरक्षा के लिए किसी तरह के नए दिशा निर्देश दिए गए हैं? We have similar question from Siddhant from Yon.
This is of course a very shocking incident. It involves two other countries, that's Afghanistan and Pakistan, and usually we would not comment on it. However, since the Interior Minister of Pakistan has dragged India into it, I would only like to say that even by their standards, Pakistan's denial of the victim's account is stooping to a new low. As regards the security of the Indian High Commission and our personnel in Pakistan, I would not like to get into specific security related measures.
Swasini from The Hindu is asking, US has recently announced a quadrilateral arrangement on connectivity with Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Uzbekistan. Was India invited to join as EM met US Deputy NSA just before the announcement?
Actually, I'm not aware of any such invitation.
Siddhant from Vion is asking, is India investigating the death of Danish Siddiqui in Afghanistan? Who was responsible for it? Daria from Sputnik is asking, a report claims that Indian journalist Danish Siddiqui's body was mutilated by the Taliban before being handed over to ICRC. Could this be confirmed or denied?
Look, I have no information on the details what being sought. As regards the incident itself, it's in Afghanistan, and I don't have any particular comment to make regarding security investigations on that. We know the circumstances in which the Taliban killed him.
मधुरेंद्र फ्रॉम न्यूज़ नेशन इज आस्किंग, वैक्सीन के फ्रंट पर मॉडर्ना और अन्य कंपनियों के वैक्सीन इंपोर्ट को लेकर क्या अपडेट है? राजीव फ्रॉम मलयालम मनोरमा हैज आस्क्ड, हाउ मेनी EU countries have approved Covishield vaccine so far? Munish Gupta from PIO TV is asking, what's the status of recognition of Indian vaccines, particularly Covaxin by WHO and other major countries? Why the delay, as it seems required information has been provided? This prevents travel for trade, business, student, and is a big impediment for India's recovery. During travels and meetings, has EM raised this issue with other nations? Gautam Lahiri is asking, Bangladesh Foreign Minister has requested EM for urgent supply of vaccine when they met in Uzbekistan. Can we have any readout on this meeting? We have similar question from Akhilesh Suman from Sansad TV.
Look, I think there are various elements of it, and perhaps if I miss any, Yatin, please add that. Let me take up with the issue of vaccines from the US. As you know, our domestic vaccination program has been continuing at a rapid pace. To supplement domestic production, we have been in touch with various partners regarding the possibility of import of vaccines. Regarding the exact details or status of such discussions, I would request you to get in touch with the concerned regulatory authorities. As for Covaxin and WHO approval for the same, we understand that Bharat Biotech had submitted its request along with all necessary documentation to WHO earlier this month. Again, I would refer you to the company for further updates on this issue. Moving on to the issue of Covishield recognition by the EU. This is a figure, that is the number of countries. That is a figure that is updated on a regular basis as more countries issue the necessary guidelines. So instead of a specific number, let me just note that more than half the EU member states have already recognized Covishield. As regards the meeting with Bangladesh Foreign Minister, as EM had shared after his meeting in Uzbekistan, it was a good opportunity to review the progress in our bilateral ties, including its connectivity aspects. As regards vaccines, we have been saying, and you all know, that our current focus remains on the domestic vaccination program. I think that covers it. You had raised the issue, of course, of travel restrictions, but I'm happy to hear if I missed out anything on that.
I have a question on travel restrictions.
Okay, we'll take it up.
Rajiv from Malayalam Manorama is asking that about 24,000 Indian students studying in various Chinese institutes are stranded due to travel restrictions. They are deprived of physical classes which are important to them. Is there any move from our part to take up this issue with China? नरेंद्र नाथ फ्रॉम नवभारत टाइम्स इज आस्किंग, अमेरिका ने भारत के लिए कोविड अलर्ट के लेवल को कम ज़रूर किया, लेकिन अभी भी सीधी उड़ान दोनों देशों के बीच शुरू नहीं हुई है. इस पे क्या अपडेट है?
Look, instead of responding to specific countries, let me just say, with the improvement of the COVID situation in India, we have been taking up with foreign countries the need to ease travel restrictions for Indians. This has been taken up at various levels and at various platforms. We believe that this easing will be an important step towards economic recovery post-COVID for all our countries. There have been some positive steps in this direction of easing restrictions, and we would have seen reports, media reports on this. And we hope that more countries will continue to take steps towards normalizing the movement of people from India. we will certainly share with you updates as we get them.
Sudan from Vion is asking, what was the key focus point during Prime Minister Modi and new Nepal Prime Minister Dewba's talks? Kalol from the Hindu has asked, did Prime Minister Modi extend an invitation to Prime Minister Dewba to visit India during their latest telephone talk? I have a similar question from Madhurendra from News Nation.
As you are aware, Prime Minister spoke to the newly appointed Prime Minister of Nepal, Sher Bahadur Dewba, on July 19 to congratulate him on his appointment, as well as for winning the vote of confidence in Parliament. You are all aware that India and Nepal share a unique relationship, and during this telephone conversation, both leaders agreed to work together to strengthen this even more. They also discussed ways to strengthen cooperation and coordination in the context of ongoing efforts against the COVID-19 pandemic. I think that captures the essence of the conversation.
Jay Prakash from Dainik Jagran has asked, भारत में आर्थिक अपराध करके विदेशों में शरण लिए अपराधी नीरव मोदी, विजय माल्या और मेहुल चोकसी को स्वदेश लाने की कोशिशों की मौजूदा स्थिति क्या है?
देखिए, इसमें आपने 2-3 नाम जिक्र लिया था. मेहुल चोकसी के बारे में जो डेवलपमेंट्स कॉमनवेल्थ ऑफ डोमिनिका में हो रहा है, हम उस पर एक नज़र रखे हुए हैं. उनको बेल मिला कुछ दिनों पहले, और अभी वो एंटीगुआ एंड बारबुडा में चले गए हैं. इसके बारे में हमें पता चला है. मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट के लिए गए हैं, और हमें ये भी बताया गया है कि उनके अगेंस्ट में जो लीगल प्रोसीडिंग्स है वो स्थगित हैं अभी, जब तक वो डोमिनिका से बाहर हैं, और जब वो वापस आएंगे डॉक्टर के सर्टिफिकेट के बाद कि वो फिट हैं ट्रायल के लिए. और नीरव मोदी और विजय माल्या के बारे में हमारे पास ऐसा कोई इमीडिएट अपडेट नहीं है, पर मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि हमारी पूरी कोशिशें जारी रहेंगी ताकि ये सब जो हमारे यहाँ से जस्टिस सिस्टम से भागे हुए हैं उनको हम ला पाएँ इंडिया में, और उनके ट्रायल के लिए, और उनके जस्टिस हमें मिले उनसे.
Ranjit Kumar from Rakshat News is asking, has India accepted Iran's invitation to attend swearing-in ceremony of the new president? If so, at what level India would be represented?
As you know, during his transit halt in Tehran on July 7, EM called on the president-elect of Iran, Ayatollah Sayyid Ibrahim Raisi. We have received an invitation to attend his formal swearing-in ceremony, which will be held on August 5th. We will certainly share updates on this once a decision has been taken in the matter.
Sandeep from the Tribune is asking, has the government been asked by foreign missions about allegations of hacking? Swazini from the Hindu is asking, has any government or embassy contacted the MEA about reports on surveillance of diplomats from US, UK, Afghanistan, Nepal, China, Pakistan and Iran? Has India requested Israel government for more details on the Pegasus investigation? प्रवीण गौतम फ्रॉम न्यूज़ पॉइंट इज आस्किंग, पेगासस मामले को लेकर पाकिस्तान ने आरोप लगाया है कि इजरायली सॉफ्टवेयर इस्तेमाल करके भारत सरकार फ़ोन की जासूसी कर रही है. इस पर क्या प्रतिक्रिया है? वी हैव सिमिलर क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम श्रींजॉय फ्रॉम टाइम्स नाउ, नरेंद्र नाथ फ्रॉम नवभारत टाइम्स एंड महा फ्रॉम CNN News 18.
Look, a detailed statement on this entire issue has already been made by our Minister for Information Technology in our Parliament. I don't really have anything much else to add to that for the moment.
Maha from CNN News 18 is asking, when is Secretary Blinken expected to visit India? Pranay from ABP News is asking, अमेरिकी विदेश मंत्री टोनी ब्लिंकन का पहला भारत दौरा अगले हफ्ते अपेक्षित है. इनकी इस यात्रा के दौरान अफगानिस्तान में शांति और स्थिरता की कोशिशों पर और किन मुद्दों पर भारत चर्चा करेगा?
Well, as you're well aware, such visits are announced at the appropriate time. We will certainly share with you all the details as soon as we have any updates on this. I promise to get back to you.
Pranay from ABP News is asking, अगले माह संयुक्त राष्ट्र सुरक्षा परिषद की अध्यक्षता भारत के पास होगी. इस दौरान भारत की क्या प्राथमिकताएं होगी और अफगानिस्तान मुद्दे पर क्या भारत कोई बहस सत्र आयोजित करने का प्रस्ताव करेगा?
देखिए, जैसे आपने ठीक कहा, 1 अगस्त से संयुक्त संघ के सुरक्षा परिषद की अध्यक्षता हमारे पास होगी, भारत के पास होगी। प्राथमिकता के मुद्दों की एक सूची बनाई जा रही है। इस पे काम जारी है और जैसे ही ये फाइनलाइज हो जाए हम आपके साथ इसको शेयर करेंगे। हम ये कह सकता हूँ कि ये हमारे लिए एक इम्पॉर्टेंट टाइम है और हम चाहेंगे कि इस पे हम पूरी नज़र और पूरे गौर से हम जो भी कर पाए हमारे अध्यक्षता में वो हम करेंगे।
प्रणय फ्रॉम एबीपी न्यूज़ इज आस्किंग, तुर्की और साइप्रस के बीच वेरोशा के मुद्दे को लेकर तनाव बढ़ा हुआ है। यूएनएससी का जिम्मेदार सदस्य होने के नाते भारत इस पर तुर्की की भूमिका को किस तरह से देखता है? Siddhan from Vion is asking, Cyprus has approached UNSC on Varosha. What we have to say on this as an UNSC member?
Look, this is an issue that is seized, that the UN Security Council is seized on. We are deeply concerned over the recent unilateral announcements with regard to the status of Varosha. We have always advocated peaceful resolution of this issue in accordance with UN resolutions. Unfortunately, the voice of the UN Security Council, as reflected in its presidential statement of 9th October 2020, has not been adhered to. We have consistently supported the independence, sovereignty, territorial integrity, and unity of the Republic of Cyprus.
Srinjoy from Times Now is asking, when are the commander level talks? Pranay from ABP News has a question. भारत और चीन के बीच जल्द ही सैन्य कमांडर स्तर वार्ता बुलाए जाने की बात पहले 25 जून को WMCC की बैठक और फिर दोनों देशों के विदेश मंत्रियों के बीच दुशांबे में 14 जुलाई को हुई प्रत्यक्ष मुलाकात में कही गई। फिर क्या वजह है कि दोनों मुल्कों के सैन्य कमांडर स्तर वार्ता की तारीख अभी तक तय नहीं हो पाई है?
As you are aware, EA met the State Councillor and Foreign Minister of China, Mr. Wang Yi, on 14th July this month in Dushanbe on the sidelines of the SCO Foreign Ministers meeting. We had already shared some details of this meeting. Let me highlight some of them. EM recalled that both sides had agreed that a prolongation of the existing situation was not in the interests of either side and that it was visibly impacting the relationship in a negative manner. EM emphasized that maintenance of peace and tranquility in the border areas has been the foundation for the development of ties since 1988. Attempts to change the status quo last year, which also disregarded commitments under the 1993 and 1996 agreements, have inevitably affected ties. It was therefore in mutual interests that the two sides work towards early resolution of the remaining issues along the LSC in Eastern Ladakh, while fully abiding by bilateral agreements and protocols. The two leaders agreed that the next round of commander-level talks should be convened at the earliest. We are still awaiting dates for the same. We expect that the two sides will discuss all remaining issues at this meeting and seek a mutually acceptable solution. In the Dushanbe meeting, there was also an understanding that both sides will continue to ensure stability on the ground and neither side will take any unilateral measure or action that could increase tension.
I have no further questions, sir.
Thank you very much for joining us. That brings us to the end of this virtual media briefing. Good evening.